What's up, Blue Chips? Welcome to the Friday night live stream. We are doing an interview with none other than Vic Trades. You can find him over at Twitter at Vic Trades. It's with a Z, Vic _ TRADEZ. Let's get to it. All right, so to get ourselves started, I had to do some clicking. You probably heard it. So how are we going to get rid of having to look down at OBS and click and make sure we're on the right thing? We tried these little hotkeys with little sticky notes on them on my keyboard. Not quite working. So I set out to find something a little bit more feasible and just knocking a few things out real quick before the interview. I found this. It's the Elgato Stream Deck controller. And yeah, so what I did is I took this and I made a little goal, as you guys can see here. Well, guess what? We kind of hit that goal, and it was all thanks. Let's go ahead and pop this up. It was done earlier. I'm just going to basically re-alert it, see if it works. Oh, you know what? Hold on one sec. Failure on my part. I forgot that I didn't copy this over. Ignore that. It wouldn't be a complete volatility trading stream if we didn't have some kind of mess up. All right, let's try this again. No? Nothing? What did I do? What did I do? I messed this all up. Let me get rid of this. Fail. Do I at least have the mic on? Okay, good. I at least have the mic on, so that's good. All right, let's get rid of that. We're going to have to go back to this screen, so ignore what you see on the screen. Kind of, sort of. Doesn't really matter. All right, copy. I thought I did this. I thought I did, but I didn't. Okay, it should work this time. All right, here we go. Nothing. What the heck? All right, let's go over to here. We'll go to here. No, we'll go to here. And we're going to try it, see what happens. Oh, it's not even going to let me re-click it now. Oh, there we go. Boom. Tom, thank you. I don't know why it wasn't working on the thing, but he gave us a big old whopping dono of $110 and told me to go get my Stream Deck. So, thank you, Tom. That is much appreciated. I decided, why not just confirm that's exactly what we're here to do. We're here to improve the stream. It's the only reason I would do these things. To put the donations, I'm always fully transparent with you guys. Let me take this off the screen real quick. Don't want any super relevant information to be out there. I mean, but if you guys really want my address, just let me know. I'll give it to you for whatever reason you may have in mind. That was the other thing I forgot to put on there was the, that's okay. We're okay. So let's see. Place order. Boom. All right. And I believe I could bring this down. I don't think you knowing the order number is really going to affect anything. And there you go. Looks like Elgato Stream Deck by November 16th. So tomorrow. Apparently they have it in the warehouse close to me. So that's awesome. I'll get it tomorrow and I'll be able to have it set up for a Monday morning live stream. Beautiful. So the other thing, why you guys are here, if you are a fan of Circuit, CRCT, in the cryptocurrency world, head over to their Discord. Just like last live stream, last Friday night, they are raining CRCT for the first 15 minutes of the stream. So you got 10 minutes left. All you got to do is be in the Discord, go into the bot register. I think that's what it's called, right? Go into bot register, yes, and type .register. You're good to go. It's going to be raining. It's going to be raining up in there. So that's what I got for that. And the 750 subscriber giveaway. First off, let me say thank you to everybody for all your support. It's been amazing. I mean, just since we announced the 750 sub giveaway when we hit it 2 weeks ago, we've already gained another 100 subscribers. As you can see, we're at 853 right now. just amazing. You guys are blowing me away. As you all know, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, we are not monetizing the channel. It is something I want to try to keep the purity of helping you guys out. If you feel any need to support the channel, how Tom did it today is exactly how I would hope that somebody, I'm not looking for handouts, but if you want to support the channel, I'm going to have a goal for some way to improve the channel, make it, just get the quality of it up, just continuing to provide better content. And we're going to go from there. So if that's, and eventually when we do get to 1,000 subs, you will be able to activate the super chat. So that is something that you guys could do as well. I also have a Patreon page that I made, but I'm not really big into like promoting all this stuff. I'm just letting you guys know that it's there. And Mayhem Mike, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. And that's all I'm getting at is, I'm just leaving the option out there. If you want to support what I'm doing, trying to be a day trading channel that is fully truthful and transparent at all given times. You see the ins, the outs, the goods, the bads, everything. You see everything. And that's what we're here. We're here to help each other grow, not just watch me along my journey, even though that's kind of what the purpose of it was to begin with. But yeah, neither here nor there. Not sure if he is here, but the giveaway for 2 weeks of the ISW scanners, Team ISW, chat rooms included, over $100 value, is Fearless Trader. I tried to see if he was going to be here tonight, but he didn't get back to me, so maybe he's here, maybe he's not. Fearless, if you're here, let us know. Congratulations. I'm going to attempt to contact you either after the stream, over the weekend, see if you want to get in there on Monday, and we'll go from there. So absolutely just incredible support, guys. It's the least I can do is try to give back to you guys as much as I can. Somebody in this room says it no better than you should always be looking to help and give with absolutely looking to get nothing in return, because that's just the way of life. If you can live your life that way, good things will happen to you. So that's the way I've been living my life for years now, especially since when you have kids too, it really helps you understand the real reasons in life. The real reason for living, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm not a man of great words. I'm a man of a lot of words. Not really, just kidding. I actually don't really speak that much. You guys force it out of me. So let me just say hi. What's up, Trade? Mamba. What's up, Vincenzo? Boytz, Zishan, all the regulars. You go to Kevin Avery in the house. Look at that, man. Kevin Avery respecting the Team ISW love. Got Ninja, Mr. Nice. Let me scroll up a little. Paul is in the house. I believe Tom's in here. He didn't even say you're welcome, even though I tried to shout him out as much as possible. He likes to hang out in the background a little bit, but we know he's here. It's kind of true, Kevin. It's kind of true. Speaking of being a man of many words, there is one other person that I know that likes to say a lot, and a lot of the times it means absolutely nothing. Let's welcome to the stream Vic, or otherwise known as V.
You're such an asshole.
Yes, I am an asshole. Me and V get along like peanut butter and jelly.
Because you are like me. We are very similar.
It's very true.
Our personality, so I fucking hate your guts sometimes.
I mean, that's just how it's going to be. Wouldn't you get mad at yourself all the time if you actually could?
Oh, I absolutely do.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't you just start us off with a good story real quick about how you almost killed yourself falling off a roof?
Why would you do that? There's nothing to that. I only slipped on a little bit of paint, and the room was way steeper than I thought. And I almost fell about 2 stories. I was thinking about leaping to the tree and, I don't know, probably impale myself with a branch. I was just
so
a little scary.
Hold on one sec. I'm going to actually, yeah, give me 1 sec.
All right.
So I don't know if you have the stream up, but I found a picture of the roof that Vic almost fell off of. And it looks like it's this one right here. Actually, it could be any of these. So, yeah, it was really steep. Not exactly sure if he would have died or not, but yeah. Can you see that, Vic? You see the photo we have on the screen?
I can see that. That
Yeah,
is
that's
not a steep roof at all. Hold on. I think the guys are saying I'm a little low. Let me see if I can fix it on my side.
that's really crazy because you're actually pretty loud for me. Let me make sure it's not on my side. It might be. Let's see, user settings. Actually, it might be in my Windows settings. Here. Holy crap, that makes you loud for me. And you're breathing.
Little test. Are the guys hearing me better?
Can you guys hear him better? I might have to take my headphones off while I do this interview.
No change there.
All right, let's try to figure this out real quick. It might be my output here. Let's see.
I mean, yeah, if you can hear me loud, then it's on your side.
Oh, God, yeah. That made him really loud. Is that better? It's lower?
Lower.
How did you make it lower?
Worse now. I didn't touch it, guys.
I didn't do anything. Let's see. I'm trying to... Oh, you know what? Here, hold on. I think I know how to do it. Hold on. I know what I did. All right. How about now?
Test. Can you guys hear me?
It's always my fault. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
I figured it out. It was an OBS thing that I did by accident. I can try to make it a little better than it is. I can't. I mean, I could put some gain on it, but I don't think that's really gonna help matters. What did I do? There we go. All right.
You guys hear me?
Turn Vic.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm with Kev.
Yeah.
I'll take over.
You jerks. Where's my little thing? So, I guess we'll start with, you want to kind of introduce yourself, like who you are, where you're from. Yeah, we'll start with those two.
My name's Vic. I'm straight out from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in the island, and then joined the Air Force in about 03, and I've been here since. Actually,
Where's here?
San Antonio, Texas, or the United States, if you wanna say that.
Say most people are from the States. I think they'd understand.
Well, yeah. I do have that accent, bruh.
What accent? I don't hear no accent.
So, funny story. The guy that just subscribed, I'm gonna guess the one that you shouted out, that
Mayhem
Mike is the guy that got me into trading, without him knowing that. He got me into Bitcoin. All right, back in, I want to say this was 2016, and I got all into that shit, right? And this was when I got it for less than 1,000, probably about 700, and I just started. It was like fucking crazy mania of Bitcoin. What you got there? What is that?
Oh, my drink?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a special drink. Everybody knows what this is. It's the see-through.
A moonshine.
It kinda. It's called a Blue Hurricane is what they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually. I always tell everybody it's a different color. You can't really see it. Let me take the green screen filter off for a sec. I'll show you. Filters. Boom. So it's actually, the reason it kind of disappears is because it's this color. It's all it is Bacardi.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Blue liqueur or blue curacao. I don't know why I always call it liqueur. Blue curacao and pineapple juice. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Sounds good, man.
It is. It's very
Anyways,
delicious.
back to my story because you're fucking boring with your drink.
You know it.
So I got into Bitcoin. I got into like buying all these coins. Everything was going up and popping like fucking huge. And this was back when Neo was not Neo before they rebranded it. So I got a bunch of those, and everything just started popping, right? And while I started doing that, I was investing at the time. Then I started like, okay, let me see what this is really doing, and I got into looking at charts. Once I look or I started looking at those charts, fucking that was it. Game over, bro. Like I was in love with the charts, and I wanted to decipher what was going on. Um, so started instead of investing it as soon as it started hitting like Bitcoin is in the thousands. So remember, I got it less than 1,000. Then now we're jumping. It's like more than three, four, and I got not only Bitcoin, but I got all these other coins. I just started trading. I started selling, and then it would dip, and I would buy, and it would go up, and whatever. Um, yes, candlestick charts. Um, and and it got to the point that I was like, okay, this is fun, but something tells me that I need to do this with the big boys. I need to. So I'm thinking, where can I do this? Where can I exploit this? Where can I go and do this that I can make money off of it? You know.
Right.
And that's when I was like, okay, the stock market. I didn't know crap about the stock market. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what stocks were. I didn't know nothing. Right. And and I decided to like, okay, I need to figure this out. I need to find a course. I need to find somebody to tell me. I need to learn it. I'm pretty sure there's gotta be somebody teaching this on a class or something. So I pay a fuckload of money for one individual that I'm not gonna mention because I don't think we should. I
You
don't
can
think we
hint. You
should.
can hint at it. You don't have to
I don't
actually
know.
say.
That's up to you.
It
But yeah,
doesn't matter.
I took a class because I didn't even know what a broker was. I didn't know anything, right?
Right.
Most people do. Most people like even if they're news, they're like, "Oh, I know I gotta get a broker." I was like, "I don't know what the fucking broker is." So I want to say that yes, I overpaid for it, but it got me a lot of stuff that I needed to know, which is what I did that because I didn't even know there was YouTube channels for this shit. I didn't know that guys came in here and did what you're doing. You know, I never imagined like, oh, let me look for how to trade stocks in YouTube. I that never fucking occurred to me. Because for me, YouTube is like, show me how to fucking fix a faucet.
Right. Right. That's true.
So, um, so yeah, so got that out of the way, and then I realized, you know, there's the, just it doesn't work that way. You don't really learn it in a 3 month, um, in a 3 month fucking course, right?
Right.
Um, and that's another subject that we can delve into. It is the chat rooms and the trading quote unquote courses that sell you fucking fantasies, you know?
Yep. We've talked about those plenty in the past.
Yeah, plenty of times. So, what do you think? You think chat rooms and trading courses help people? How about the
I
guys in
think.
your
I
watching
think.
this?
Yeah. That's true too. Yeah. Asking everybody watching. Me personally, I always say it depends on who it is and who is telling you to join these chat rooms and the courses, and then there's always the why. Like, why are they telling you? And that's the thing with YouTube as well. Like you had said, you didn't know that this was all here. Unfortunately, the sad truth is that we're getting to a point where it's filled with so many channels that are here for the wrong reasons. They're here
Yeah.
not to show people how to make money in the market. They're here to, like you had said, to quote you, sell the fantasy, so that they can sell these courses or get them into a chat room, et cetera, et cetera. It's
And then the monthly subscription and all that. My take on
exactly
that is that like I've talked about this with you and the guys in our ISW chat that even though if the website or the course or the teacher is doing it for the right purposes, if it has the right heart in mind, right? Even if you want to do the right thing, I think the course will still fail because it's not that's not how you learn how to trade, man. You can learn a strategy, but you will suffer losses and you will want to fucking punch yourself in the face some plenty of times. And there's no course out there that will teach you how to get over that. Um, you have to learn the hard way, right? So even though if that person has the right mind, like you and me right now can set up a school and say, hey, let's 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 do this for the people. Let's really try to bring trading and a good trading course to people, right? I think, and this is my opinion, that I think it will still fail because you do what you need is a daily trading coach behind you telling you, okay, this is what are you doing now? Okay, why are you wanting to get out? That's emotions. Calm, chill the fuck out. Look at what the chart is doing, you know. And I think that is the only way that one can truly learn from somebody else.
Right.
If it's on yourself, then yeah, it's on yourself. You're gonna fucking fall and scrape your knees and then get back up again, you know.
Yep,
But if
I
you want to
totally agree.
learn it from somebody else, you need someone there. And I think that again, this is my opinion. I think you need someone there telling you, yo, uh, do this, do that, or you have emotions, write them down. What are you feeling right now? You're scared? Are you too heavy on it? Why do you have so many shares? Why do you keep adding? You know, maybe reduce a little bit. You know, and those are the types of things that a course will never give you. Um, so after my course and after I learned what I needed to learn from it, I found Brian from Intensity Trading, and I found him fairly quickly. I did know that there was a lot of traders on Twitter. I didn't know about YouTube, but I knew about Twitter. So the first thing I did was create a Twitter account, and my Twitter it's mostly all trading. I don't do anything else there but trading stuff. Um, and so I found Brian, and Brian has he has the scanner set that it sends out alerts, like automatic alerts, right?
Right.
And one day I'm losing out of my ass every day, and I'm like, um, what the fuck to do? I'm just grasping for straws for everything or anything that can come at me, and I get a tweet from the ISW scanner for a stock that was moving on volume. So I pull the chart up and I see it moving, and I'm like, oh, whatever. I don't remember if it was a short or a long, but I got in and I made money that day. So I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I'm gonna follow every single tweet from this guy every time he has volume. I'm gonna get in, and I send him a message. My experience with the course I had bought before, I never could get a hold of the guy because super busy, he's a big ass company, and you can never get that personal one-on-one thing.
Right. Right.
So I send an email to the guy or a private message on Twitter to whoever's behind the scanner in hopes of like, I'm just saying thanks. I really just wanted to say thanks. I wasn't looking for anything else. I wasn't even looking for a response back because I didn't know how busy this guy was. So
Right.
I just say, hey, I just made money in this stock out of this tweet, or I think I tweeted underneath, um, and like, thank you, whatever, blah blah. And he tweeted back, and then he started private messaging me like, hey, how you doing, blah? And I was like, hey, dude, and we started a conversation. He was there for me every time, like, oh, I just lost here. He was like, well, that fucking sucks, you know. But he was there like that bartender that is there for you when your wife just cheats on you. It's never
So
happened to me. I'm
it's a
just fucking
broad
kidding.
example.
I'm just kidding. But he was there in that capacity, and then we just developed a friendship. And then he's like, "Hey, I got the scanner." The one thing I like, he never tried to sell me on it. He's like, "I have this. It's a tool. You fucking do it if you want, or you don't." You know. Um, what is Kevin saying?
He's making fun of somebody
Pretty
else.
monkey. Ooh, all right. I'm not looking at that, by the way,
You're good.
because it loses my train of thought.
Yeah, no, you
Um,
keep your train of thought.
yeah. So, so yeah, he was there. We developed a friendship. He told me about the scanner. Then I got in, and then I started. That's how I started developing my edge. And but going back to experience and to the trading courses we're talking about and all that, I think the experience of yourself, it's what gets you ahead. I didn't have an edge for like 6 months. I was just trading whatever the fuck I would see. And like I'm guessing everybody knows when you start, you don't know what you're looking at. You don't know if you want to trade stocks that are less than $1 or from $1 to $3 or from 4 to 5 or for 20 or a 30 or a 40 or OTC. Like you don't know where you're at.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of the market. There's a million ways of making money, and it just takes so long for you to find, oh, here's where I fit. This is my niche. Let's exploit this area. And it's a journey of losing your ass to get to, okay, this is what I'm good at. So
So true.
once you see that edge, then you hone on it. You develop, you focus on that, you start doing that. Then out of that, then you keep losing because you have an edge. Now you're seeing something, but you don't know how to work a strategy around it. So then it takes another fucking 6 months or more for you to develop a strategy to play that edge. Those are two completely different things, and people sometimes think it's the same. Once you find an edge, you're fucking golden. You're gonna win. No, bro. You find an edge, you're gonna still lose your ass because you don't know how to trade that edge. And there are people with money that do, and they know you don't, and they know you're there. So they just exploit you.
So true. Yeah, there's a there's a couple videos out right now mocking somebody that actually is about to start a small account challenge, and somebody had mentioned it to me, and I kind of went
Another one of those.
Yeah, I went down the rabbit hole a little bit, and I watched a couple of his videos from today, and any respect that he may have had from what I like to call the real traders, I think this may have been the last straw. If you go watch his videos, but just to touch on something that Kevin was actually bringing up in chat. When I first came to ISW, I started getting a little overconfident, and V was there every single day telling me, "Bro, don't get overconfident. Stop. Just like." Get ahead of yourself. And I would tell him, dude, like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm doing well. I'm never going to risk more than I have to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you guys are looking, this is that time period that I was telling Vic this. I went on a streak of 28 trades in a row where I didn't lose. And I started
And I wanna interject here because 28 trades for Tim is like fucking 4 months.
It's true. You guys know that I'm picky.
He trades like once a week. He's got to be perfect. His edge needs to be there, like fucking on point. And you're like, hey, this is kind of your edge. It's like, no, that's not my edge.
Nope. It didn't go that extra 20 cents. Nope. Exactly. I needed 2 more cents.
1 cent. It's like, no, it's a 49. I wanted it at 50.
I do. I want that $50 break. That's what I look for. I've actually gotten a lot better with that. I've actually started to start my position on the other side of the $50, and then I'll cut it in half. That's if you guys have been watching my trades lately, I'll take my starter position, I'll cut it in half, and I'll start before the $50 break if it looks like it doesn't want to get through the $50. So then, or the whole dollar for that matter. And so that way I at least got the trade. If for some reason it doesn't want to go through, if it does go through, I just add the other half of my starter position and we're good to go. So that's something that I've personally learned since February. It's taken that long for me to learn that, hey, this was a hole in my strategy. I need to fix it. And so just like V said earlier, sometimes it takes 6 months for you to realize something as simple as that. But yeah, real quick to go back to my 28 trades in a row that took 4 months, which let's see, it took from March 1st to May 6th. So what's that? March, April. So about 2 months. So you were close. So I was just, when we got to MTSI, that's what this trade was. I had just scaled up like 2 trades before that, and I was just getting overconfident. I was like, "Look at my chart. We're gonna go to the moon with this." And I didn't know how to lose at this point. And I told V over and over again, "I'm not gonna blow up my account, blah blah blah." But we started over here. And by the time we get to this point, the fees, the commissions, the broker fees, the platform fees, all that stuff that's come out. When we took this hit of around $1,000 on MTSI, which was just way too big, that ended up being 50% of my account at the time, and so I kind of blew up. And for any of you that don't know the story, if you look at this, you don't see June in here. I took the month of June off to basically paper trade to make sure that these cliffs, because look, all these cliffs in my chart, they should not be there. You should never have cliffs in your chart. I took the month of June to basically study myself and my trading to figure out why these cliffs were happening. And I think that I found it. And as you can see since then, we've kind of climbed ourselves back out of the hole, and we're doing pretty well. Right now we're in a little bit of consolidation. I think it's a little bit mental, a lot of family stuff going on. But yeah, that's where we're at with that. So
there's nothing wrong with that. I want to add, because this is going to happen to us all, that we are thriving or trying to get to that consistency phase. We're all going to have to take a step back. And for me, paper trading is like going back to the court and shooting a couple hoops, training. It keeps you sharp, and you can work on things while you're paper trading. Now, I think it's very important for the first year that people paper trade, not the whole time. You of course can get an account and get your feet wet, but you have to, as a new trader, you have to set an amount that you want to lose for the year. So just know that it will be almost impossible if you if you think that on your first year you're going to be profitable. I don't think that will happen. I think you will lose money. So if you say, "Hey, I want to lose this, not more than this year," and you get that in a few months, then you can stop and then keep paper trading for the year. You got to keep yourself. You got to have breaks on yourself, because if not, if you keep going, you can just you can lose a fucking million in in a few months. So
it doesn't matter what size you start with. It's all going to be the same result.
Yeah. So just start small, have an account, and then just take your time. Set goals, not as far as time, but as far as and at least I think the first year it shouldn't be goals. It should be like, this is my stop loss. If I hit this, I'm closing my account and then just paper trading.
Right.
And then the next year you set another pot for, like, okay, this is for this year. And then if you lose that, then you move on to the next year. When you hear from the actual pros that have been doing this for a long time, you hear it took them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and then that put things into perspective. Like, I'm not going to do this tomorrow. You don't start as a janitor in a company and you're the CEO by month 3. It does not go that way. You got to put in your time. You got to do your thing. So anyways, while me and Tim were talking about on that chart, he was going up, I was saying, hey, it's just because I think you had told me that you had never blown up, right?
Well, yeah, I kept telling you that I never have and I never will.
Yeah. So I was like, bro, okay, I don't want to say no, and I don't wish it on you, but it's just things happen because you know how to win, you don't know how to lose. Like, shit, I don't know how to lose still, and I'm learning that. I'm still there battling myself. because you know this is a battle with yourself. When you're in and you see that that shit's going down, you're like, you know what? It's gonna come back. Let me fucking. Or if it's a sharp move, you're like, oh yeah, okay, so now it's gonna bounce. It's gonna go my way. Let me add some more. And then
No, I
that shit
totally
just
agree.
fucking, yeah, it goes down even more. And you're like, oh my god. Now you're down $1,000. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna stop out and lose 1,000? Fuck no. You add more. And then you're down even fucking 2,000. You're like, oh fuck, there goes my account. You know?
Yep. Yeah, and just to add on that, I've been preaching that on my channel for about the last 3, 4, maybe even 5 months. Ever since I took my loss on MTSI, it's not about how you win in the market because everyone can win. It's about how you lose. And I can't preach that enough because how you win, you can always improve on that. But how you lose, it only takes one big loss to just
Yep.
completely wipe you out.
And you're done.
Yep. And just to quote Paul here, it's not about how you get knocked down; it's about how you get back up. I love that Chumbawamba song. That kind of gets me going. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You ever hear that song? Or am I dating myself a little bit?
Yeah.
You
Wait,
never heard that song?
yeah, of course I have.
Oh, okay,
I'm just
okay.
I started reading the chat for a minute. Is that Albert?
Yeah, that's Albert.
The Alb?
That's the Albie. That's my Albie.
What up, Albie? Long time no see.
So
I hope he's.
just to kind of
And I'm
keep the
sorry
flow
to I'm
going.
sorry to hear
Okay.
about that, Paul. Though
Yeah.
I just read back up there.
It does, yeah, and just it does happen. Like it happens to 90% of the people out there. To be frank, it's really
No, it happens to 100% of the people out there.
well,
Only
that's
90%
true.
stick around.
You mean 10%? I think you meant 10% there.
What did I say?
You
Yeah,
said
10%
90%.
sticks around.
Yeah, yeah. It's
10%
really
sticks around.
about
90% goes.
and really just kind of having my chart up too. I mean, you'll hear it from a lot of the big pro traders that have done interviews in the past. In your first year, maybe even 2, 3 years, your goal is to somehow break even. That should be your goal. It should not
Hmm.
be to be a millionaire or whatever the fantasy that you think that like. Not to toss names around, but there's a young kid who buys houses, flashy exotic cars. Like that shouldn't be your goal after a year of
That's
trading.
not. Yeah, no,
All,
not at
that
all.
like they're selling you a fantasy of the stock market. Like you
Absolutely.
can live that lifestyle, but it's you're not gonna do it right away. Like they're trying to make you, assume that.
And when you start, a pretty reasonable goal is going from losing your ass to losing half your ass.
Very
That's
true.
an improvement. And then you go from losing half your ass to break even. That's an improvement. And going from break even to making $1 a year. That's a fucking improvement, you know? And people don't see that. People are like, "Oh, I'm still losing. I'm still fucking losing my ass." And it's like, "Okay, but are you improving or are you not? Are you seeing an edge? Are you working on a strategy? Are you doing your journal? Are you do you have a binder where you classify every single move that you play? It's you gotta approach this from this is gonna be your work. And when you go to work, a work that is technical, you usually have processes. You have a binder of like when this happens, you do this, and these are like if you're a mechanic, you have a binder like of all the schematics of how the engine works, or if you do customer service, you have a script that you have to follow. So it's just you have to approach trading the same way. You see something, okay, I'm trading this. What do I call it? Okay, I call this. This is gonna be called pop and drop. You give it your own names. Own it. Own your edge. Own your move, and just print them out if you want to, and have them, put a name for this. This is called the Tim because it's fucking annoying as shit when it happens to me. And this is called this other one.
Such an
Give a
asshole.
name. And then with after names, then you create clauses for that, or this is when this happens, this is how I play this, and when I'm wrong, this is when I get out. And you just remove yourself from the move, and you just follow what's in your binder as your processes. You do that, you're one step ahead of everybody else. Because if you put yourself in there, all you're doing is your emotions. And even though you have processed it written, you're gonna dismiss them. You're gonna be like, I'm not doing that. I'm still good. Fucking throw more money at it. You
I
throw more
agree.
money on it, you're gonna be fucked. So you don't trust yourself because you're a dumbass. I'm a dumbass. I don't want to follow my dumbass self. I want to follow what's on the paper that I've written to save my ass. Do that, you'll be good.
Couldn't agree more. I had something to say there, but I was laughing at Paul here. Oh, what was it? What was it? It was something you said. I was gonna bounce off of it, but I totally forgot what it was. It was something near the end.
Was it the team that's an
No.
asshole?
I was trying to ignore that one.
I know, that's why I'm bringing it up again.
It was oh man, that's gonna bug me because it was a good one. It was something you said and it was like right on point. It is. I was just gonna say it is scary how much we are alike because a lot of the times when you're preaching, it's almost like exactly what I try to tell the people that are here viewing all the time. It's like what I try to say on a daily basis. It's good to hear, and a lot of people too. It's like they might hear me saying this, but to be able to hear it from someone else, it kind of gives confirmation that okay, it's not just what one person's saying. It's and my wife is the same way. She wants to hear what I have to say from other people before she believes it.
Yeah.
It's like she can't just believe me.
Or maybe, are you sure the problem is not you?
No.
If everybody else wants to hear from someone else, then
I'm not positive.
No, but it happens. I mean, if you like I tell you, it happens to me. Still happens to me. And what I do is like I go back and I listen to the now thousands of interviews that I know are on YouTube that I didn't know before from the pro traders, and I
Right.
listen to each and every one of them and what they say. It took me 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I blew many accounts until I fucking got it, and that put things in perspective. Like, what are you chasing a fast thing, or are you actually getting into a field that you want to be a pro at?
Yeah. Feel free to
Once you
plug that
realize,
channel because I have no problem plugging their channel.
uh,
He's talking about chat with
the
traders.
yeah, chat with traders.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And I think as a new trader, you probably don't appreciate chat with traders if you're very new. I think you start appreciating it more when you get into a more in the middle of understanding trading. That's when you start understanding what they're actually saying,
Right.
um, and you see the value of it.
It worked. Keep up the excellent work, Tim. 1K subs upcoming. CRC to the moon. CRCT to the moon. Thanks for the dono there, Mr. Jonathan. We are officially over our goal. Vic, I guess I owe you half of that, right? Is that how that works?
You owe me $5, bro. We should have a podcast because we're like yin and yang, water and fucking oil.
We kind of are. Maybe we'll rip one of the other channels off and start our own podcast.
Because what people are seeing right now, this is civil with me and Tim.
Yeah,
this
is pretty civil.
Because usually we're at each other's throat. Like,
in a good way, though. In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah. You're like my brother. So
we try. Yeah, we might be at each other's throats, but we're trying to be productive at the same time.
Exactly. You should post our GIF, the one you found out it was kind of made up the other day, and that's our thing.
The middle fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for anybody that wants to see it, let me bring it up real quick. I have that pretty much on demand at this point.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yep. This is me and V on a regular basis, which we found out.
Daily.
Yeah, we found out the other day that this was actually staged, so it kind of ruins it a little bit.
and it's not like that's us doing that to each other. Like we actually send that to each other like every 5 minutes.
Pretty much. That's too funny. to essentially try to get back into maybe why some people are here, just to ask like a legit question. My
Yeah, go
tongue is
ahead.
turning blue. Speaking of seriousness. I had a good question that I think that you'll be really good at answering.
Yeah,
Um,
go ahead.
so basically, it's kind of a four-part question into one, but I'll just ask it and you can kind of go with it. So,
All
how do
right.
you deal with frustration, self-doubt, and other emotional aspects of trading? And what is your daily process, not only to trade but to get around these things?
Ooh, wow, that is a heavy one.
It's a good question, right?
Yeah, because that's the bread and butter of the newbie trader, or
Exactly.
it's dealing with all that. So when big losses happen, for example, for me, I the next day I have set up for me as a rule not to try to revenge because I've done that.
Who
We've
hasn't?
all lost. We've all lost 1,000 one day, and then the very next day you lose 1,500, and you're like, that kind of didn't work out the way the way I thought it was gonna work out, right? So, um, so if I have a big loss, which I've managed to stop the bleeding, and I'm actually I want to say I'm pretty good right now where I'm at. I just had to slow down for other reasons, but if I have a big loss, then I've set a rule for myself that the next day I just want to put a green trade, no matter how small it is. So if I lose, let's say if I have a $300 loss day, uh, which will be like my max for the day or something. So the next day I want to come in and put in a $50 win. That's it. Fucking log out after that. That's
Right.
that's all I'm aiming. It's just for a small green one. Then the next day, I want to come in and I want to do the same thing. Maybe I get a little bit more risky or put more shares, 50, 75, whatever. I just want to stay in the green because then I'm not looking for big payouts. I'm looking for confident boosters. So I don't care how much money I make out of confidence boosters. I just want to be on the green side. So I just keep building on those smaller ones until I get back to my good self confidence point, and then I can start trading with the same shares that I was trading when I lost the 300 that I was at. But I guess that's how I deal with it. I want to say the day after or stuff like that. When it happens, I don't know if you were asking when it happens on the day that I lost or if I lose. Is
But
that
both.
both?
What do you do the
I don't
day
know,
of?
man. I start
Do you shut it
crying and
down?
eating. Start crying, eating ice cream in bed. Don't
Some
talk to
people
me.
do. Yeah, some people do. Hey, if that's your way of
Yeah,
handling it, right? Go for a walk. Go hug your dog. If you have kids, you can hug
yeah,
them.
yeah.
That's what I do. I
And
seriously.
and that's part of it. I go and try to put my mind with my daughter and just do it. I just have to remember, like, hey, it's just a loss. And as a new trader, I think that's part of the question. As a new trader, you really don't realize how insignificant that really is. It means the world to you when you're starting because it could be a very big loss. You could lose your account, right? And you're like, oh my god, what the fuck just happened? Um, but again, once you have had more losses under your belt, then it becomes more like a routine. Like, okay, now you're learning this thing happens. So as long as you're progressing in other areas, then you see it as a process. And I think that's very important. If you see it as a process, you know you're moving forward. You have created goals, you have created things that will get you ahead, farther away from losses and more into the goal that you want.
I
But
agree.
I can't tell you what people can do on the day off, for example, because I think everybody's different. Everybody's different, and I think I'm reading here. Did you had a day where you lost big one day and you wanted to give up or not trade for a week and see what you did wrong? I've had very big days that I'm like, I suck at this and I'm not gonna do it ever again.
There was one of
So
those not
yeah,
too long ago.
yeah.
No, it didn't.
So
And it doesn't even have to be a trade that wipes you out, but it could just be a trade where you look
yeah,
back and you're just like,
and
what am I doing? Kind of thing.
and I think that happens to everybody. I've heard Mike Bellafiore said the same thing that he sat down on the couch and this guy owns a fucking prop firm and he says at least once a year he sits down and he's like, maybe this is not for me, you know? So that shit's gonna happen. That's gonna happen to everybody. You're gonna be like, I'm a dumbass. This is just not working. And you just got it's perseverance that keeps you in this game.
Very true.
100% perseverance. Passion,
Let's
you have to have passion, but perseverance of pushing forward, it's key.
That was actually exactly what I was about to say. Go figure. I was about to say if you're not enjoying this, the ups and downs of it, then it might not be for you. It's something that even in the darkest of times of trading, you still have to realize that just like a real job, just like anything in life, when you're having a time where it's difficult to understand something, maybe you're just not the best at something that you're doing. Well, figure it out. Figure out how to be the best at something. Put the time in. Put the effort. Log the hours until you are. I wouldn't say until you
Yeah.
are the best out of it, but at least make yourself better than you were before, so that what you did to make you feel that way doesn't happen again. So that's one thing that you don't have to worry about because it's now the past, and you just
Yeah,
keep moving forward.
absolutely. And one thing I've noticed from listening to Bellafiore and other people that are owners of prop firms or hedge funds is that these guys, when they're looking for new traders, they're usually looking for people that have done sports, which for me I was like, why? Why is this? You know? And now I see, when you have played sports, things take time and you have to practice shit. For example, you play sports, right?
I did. I do.
Wh- which one is the one that you're on?
I currently play baseball. Pretty much my whole life I played soccer and baseball.
There you go. And when you do that, if you did it on a team or by rules, you have in order to perfect yourself at something, you have to get in there. You have to put the time, you have to put the effort, you have to fucking put the sweat, and ultimately you're gonna get better. You see that in yourself. If you're playing basketball and you're doing you know, fucking 3 point. You want to be a guy that shoots from 3 points. You have to get there. You have to you probably have to shoot 10,000 shots a year or some shit like that. I don't even know.
Trust
But
me, Steph Curry didn't get to where he was without shooting probably at least a million of those.
absolutely,
Yep.
there you go. So it's the same thing with this. You have to get in there and you have to do it over and over again. The only bad thing is that while you're doing it, you're wasting your own fucking money.
So true.
So this is why people, I don't give shit to people if they drop out because they don't have no money, because then, that's out of their hands. If you drop out because you're like, you know what, I had that, and then after that money's gone, then I don't have any more, then that's fucking completely understandable. You know?
Correct. Yep.
But if you just drop out because you're like, oh, I don't know how to do this, I suck, like, oh, or this is a scam, this is bullshit, like,
Scam, gambling. It's not as easy as the guru
yeah,
made me think it
gambling, then,
was.
yeah, then you have not understand one fucking iota of what trading is, and you
Yep.
never put the time.
Yep. No, I totally agree. There's actually some people in chat actually mentioning something I know you're very familiar with, and it's breaking rules.
Oh.
So just to kind of go through some of them, David, he said breaking rules really discourages me because it scares me that I just won't ever be strong enough to not break the rules. And I know that you actually feel very similar about that. And
Oh yeah.
I can't tell you how many times that V has told me, he doesn't necessarily believe in himself as a trader. So that's why he makes his rules. So the reason for rules is to stop you from making the decisions. And he already touched on this a little bit earlier, but is there anything else that you might want to dive into as far as why rules are just so important? When you like, just to dive into this a little bit more, we all have an edge, we all have a strategy, but within that edge, we have rules. Now,
Yeah.
why is it so important to follow those rules?
So I'm gonna dive into why I'm such a dumbass. Um,
It's always a good
and
one.
it's
You're the dumbass, not me for once.
yeah, yeah. There you go. I'm gonna take that off your shoulders. Um, so I've called you like on the phone right after I fucking lost my ass, right?
Right?
I've called B as well, Brian, the guy from ISW, after I've lost my ass. And I've said, hey, it happened again. I lost my ass because I broke my rules. So this is how much of a dumbass I am. I have created rules. Every time I have a big loss, I create a rule to prevent that from happening again. So I create all these rules and then I'm sorry. And then I didn't follow them for like ever. So I have all these nice set of rules written down, and I barely just started following them a few months ago after I had my last big loss. And I was like, okay, something has to fucking change. Something have to change because I cannot keep going this way. And I went back to everything I had written down, and I read all my rules again, and I was like, this is perfect. Every single rule that I've written could have saved my ass this past fucking year, for example. Uh, and I was like, you know what? I have to enforce this. So you can have your rules, you can have them written down, but if you don't follow them, you are doomed to lose your account again. Um, for example, and this was probably more than a year ago or something. I was talking to Ty. You remember Ty, the guy that
I
was in
do.
chat with us?
Yep. Yep.
So
I still
he's a
talk to him every once in
coworker.
a while.
He's a coworker of mine. And I was talking to him after something happened that I had lost on a trade, and then I got right back into it when you know how when you kind of like, okay, now it's gonna drop, or
Right,
like
right,
now
right.
it's gonna go my way and I'm not in it. So it's kind of like FOMO, and then you get back in and then you make it worse because you keep losing money on it and whatnot. So I
MTSI.
did. Yeah, so I did that. I got on one, and then I was just like, oh no, now it's gonna go my way. Got back in, right? So I was talking to him in the office because we worked together, and I was just like, hey, it's just dawned on me, if I just create a rule that after I get out of a trade and it's a red trade, I have to wait 4 candles for me to get back in. Beautiful rule for me. And I'm talking about 2 minute candles. So if I lose on a trade or I get out, I get stopped out on one candle, I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically not counting the candle I got out and not counting the one I'm getting back in. I have to count 4 candles in the middle for me to try to now assimilate or try to see, hey, is there an edge here now that we're 4 candles past my stopping point? If there is a trade, then I can get back in. Beautiful rule for me. Ask me how many times I fucking follow that rule.
How many?
Zero. 0 times.
I mean, I already knew
And
the answer, but
yeah, I know it's rhetorical, but I kept doing that, and I kept like stopping out, and I'm like, "Fuck you, I'm getting back in." Stopping out, "Fuck you, I'm getting back in." You know, and it took me probably a year to see, hey, you have a rule written down here to save you from that shit. And now that I'm following my rules, I'm seeing my shit improving. But yeah, to the people who are asking about rules, you have to have rules, you have to write them down, and then you have to enforce them. How are you going to enforce that? I don't know if I'm the right person to answer that because for the longest time, I did not follow my own shit. Um, because I thought, I knew it all, or, I just have a feeling that this shit is going to turn around on me now, or you're doing the whole, oh, it's gonna come back, it's gonna come back.
And David actually brings up a good point in chat that you actually have to know that your rules matter and actually work. And
Absolutely, yep.
that's one of them things where just the experience, logging the hours, logging the trades, that's where that really comes into play, because the more you see it, the more you realize that your rules are working. And then it's just a
Yeah,
matter of you executing those rules.
yep. And then it's like you're saying, okay, so it's either your money or your rules. So it's gonna come a time, it's gonna come a point that you're gonna actually pivot from, no, this might come my way, to thinking rules are rules. When you start thinking rules are rules, you're on the right track.
Yep, I agree. Sorry, I'm going through my past losers and telling them to fuck
I
off.
see that. I see OCX.
Yeah, MTSI is soon after that.
Yeah.
So I guess to kind of dive in, I know our strategies are fairly similar, but they're actually quite different in a way, which actually is pretty cool, because a lot of, I get a lot of questions here and there, especially with GDT. A lot of people will say, are you trading the same way as GDT? Like, why are you so different? You're just copying what he does, and then he gets you're copying Clay Trader, blah, 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 blah. What is your strategy? Like, every day when you see trades popping up, whether it's using the scanner, do you use the scanners, 100%? And when you do, like, when you pull up a chart, like, what are you looking for exactly?
100% I use the scanners. When that shit, I don't know, the alert that I use is the like a bell ring or a bell tone. Every time I hear that bell tone, I'm just looking for charts that are uh, running up. I'm a short bias trader. So if something has volume, and volume is one of my biggest indicators, and have jumped like more than $1, it depends, because all charts, some of them run 30 cents, some of them are running $3, or
Right, right.
if it's I call them big charts. If it's a big chart, meaning it has run from I don't know, 1250 to 1550, or more from 34 to 43, or it depends. But I'm looking for that, for that for the volume, and that everybody's on the hype train going up. So I usually zoom out every time I see one of these ones, and I look for the volume that has spiked up from an average. So I try to look a couple days back, that, let's say, the whole average volume has been sitting down at around 100K on the 2 minute. And then all of a sudden that morning, it has gone up to 700,000 in volume, right? And the price point has jumped $2. I know that that has a big probability of a pullback. So what I'm looking for is for me to start getting in as a short seller in certain points, and expecting that pullback so I can start taking out or locking some profits. If it comes down not enough and starts consolidating, as a flag, it might pop back up. So as per my rules, I have to get out on a higher day, and then just waiting for those 4 candles I was talking about later, to see if it keeps popping, if it keeps going up, 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 up. After 4 candles, then um, I might want to get back in, entertain getting back in at a higher point. But I do very well with the scanner popping, and um, me pulling the chart, seeing the volume, seeing it run, and then start short selling when it's high. As soon as that pullback happens, I want to start locking in. I don't want to, if it's running on uh, earnings, I don't want to be caught there. So I want to keep it safe. Even because if I want to get out, let's say I take some profits when if it does a short pullback, and then all of a sudden keeps fucking ramps back up, I want to get out at least break even, so I can take a little bit of profit, and then I can take a loss on the other half or not. And I want to get out at break even at least, ideally.
Yeah, makes sense. That's kind of where I was today on VIPS. I started that position early, and I got a decent add in, but when it pulled back, it kind of felt like it was stalling towards the bottom of a big intense move back down to the downside on the pullback, and it was pretty much right at my average. And in the past, a lot of times I would just let it go, and then I would end up cutting it high of day because it would go back up. So today I actually cut it, and of course it proved me wrong because it ended up going lower after it bounced a little bit. But at least myself, I'm protecting my capital there, where I'd rather be wrong and break even instead of being, or I'd rather be right, I'd rather be wrong and break even instead of being wrong and taking a big loss, not a big loss, but the max loss that I could take by letting it go high of day and having to cut by following the rules. So I mean, because we do have very similar rules in a lot of aspects. So just how we usually look to, like, what we're looking for to get into trades sometimes differ just a little bit, but
Yeah.
I feel like
So
for
I
the most
traded,
part,
if you wanna pull it up, I traded SWAV today, SWAV.
yeah, that was a miss for me today. I was looking for the 40-50 pop to get back
There we
into
go. See?
being picky. Yep.
So I'm thinking, so I'm seeing it. I zoomed out all the way. I have TC2000 so that I can have better charts and better past history.
Right.
So I zoomed out on the 2 minute, and I can see all the way to November 5th of 2019. All right. So I'm seeing all that, and I'm like, okay, look at that fucking volume pop on today's open, that we're past the 600,000 mark. And I'm like, it doesn't matter on this one. I saw the daily, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. I think at a certain point, which will be above or almost close to 40, I think it would go to 40 and then pull back down, right? So let me see where I got in on this one. Swap. Okay, 39.90. I got in very small, 39.90, or what I thought was very small at the time. And this popped to, was it 40.20 or some shit like that?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. 40-21.
All right, so I'm in at 39.90, and I'm like, I'm gravy. Just um, relax. Try to calm the emotions, which is what's more important here.
Very true.
And I was upside down when it went up to higher day, and I'm just like, I'm good. If it goes past 40.25 or 40.50, then I add another the same amount that I was in. I wasn't gonna double or anything. I'm hitting another batch of the same shares, and I didn't have to. I just waited a little bit, and the thing just dropped. And I'm just pulling other charts. I'm looking at FTCH that I traded on the long side on the big flushes, and I got out as soon as they bounce, and I did it twice, and I didn't fuck with it anymore. This was before it really dropped. And then I looked back at Swap, and it was on the floor, bro. So I took my first. When I took my first 38.69 is where I took my first half, um, and then I just let it sit there. I think I traded I. Did I trade I? How did I trade I?
Yeah,
Oh
I was
yeah,
a
it was
tricky
also
one.
in. Yeah, it was also in the open, but on I saw it after. I was away from my computer. I probably would have lost my ass on that, on that shit going over to 1560. But I traded the morning pop, so I was in at 13:30 and I was out at 13. So I took 30 cents on that. And
Nice.
then got out. My last out was 12.88 on I. And then look back at swap. I already taken half, and then took my other half right before it started popping back up to VWAP. So I got out at 38.69, and then 38.96 was my last out. And that only was quota, and then I had the green from FTCH in my short on I, and I was just like, I'm done for the day. I went to eat with a friend at downtown.
Beautiful trade there on swap, man. I definitely was a little upset about that one. Even on the live stream this morning, I know people were probably getting tired of me saying that how upset I was that I didn't trade swap. I just
Yeah.
I tend to not like, because I use the 2-minute chart as well. I tend to not like jumping into trades where it's just one bar, regardless of how big that bar is. I usually like to see that second green bar kind of extend a little
See
bit.
that, and that's where we differ because if I see a very big fucking green bar with a big volume, I know that as quick as this big thing got up, this as quick is gonna fucking pull back down. So I do want to get on that front.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm that way. I just am. But I actually,
But
it's
yeah,
funny because on
exactly.
VIPS, I actually kind of did the opposite. But, well, because I mean, to me, I was looking at the previous day on VIPS and I saw that the bars were even smaller over the course of like 2 or 3 bars. And I just saw this huge move and I looked at the daily real quick and I realized that it was kind of a breakout candle. And I just
Hmm.
saw the huge amount of volume and I told myself, I was like, I'm going to look for, because like when I first started the strategy, I used to have time and sales up and I would kind of
Hmm.
read when the time and sales kind of hit that ceiling. And I would look
Okay.
for basically it to, and on top of this, it was right over the $half of 12.50. So it was a great like entry point for me. And it kind of felt like it stalled, and it did. It came back down, it tested 12.50 before popping right back up. So I wasn't like overall mad about the chart. It was just it popped a little bit further than I kind of expected it to. So it kind of made my first entry early per se.
Yeah.
And it goes to show you that if I would have just waited for my damn second green candle, I would have been money. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not really like a rule that I have. It's just what I'm more comfortable trading.
So
So
on that one on Vips, let me pull it up because I can't see the numbers. But all right, so on that one I can tell you 1260. Well, it was kind of it didn't go up that much. Like I wouldn't have gone in all in at 1260, but let's say I would have gotten in at 1260, which is the top of that first candle, and then it starts going up on me. I would have given it up until like 1320 for me to add. So I would have still been I would have still I would have been green on that one still. But let's say if we're looking at this same chart, but we're talking about instead of 1260 is like 33 to like $34, that's when you blow up because then that's $2, and then now you're fucking whatever shares you use, it's instead of going up 30 cents, it's going up $2,
right.
right? So on if that was the case and I would have top ticked that first candle, my rules tell me that once let's say it pulls back a little and then it starts to make a run for higher day, my rules tell me I have to get out on higher day. So I'll probably take a red on that first candle going up towards the second going up,
Right.
and then I would just wait for that second or third candle up there for me to re-enter. And on this pop and drops in the morning, I don't play the 4 candle rule because I know it either works or it doesn't. So if it pulls down and then it goes past higher day, I just got to get out and then retake it on the top.
Makes sense. I feel like this move, because I'm a little different in that aspect. Like if I get a little pullback here, like in this case,
Mm-hmm.
our entry here was 12.57, It pulled back to 1249. We were looking for this to break down through 1250, and this move down to 1249 and right back up happened so fast that, to me personally, I don't really consider that a pullback per se. I just figure, it's
Yeah.
more of a just the
Well,
price action.
It did pull back a little,
Right.
but then it got bought up. I don't know, somebody that was in big either covered because they wanted the quick in and
Right. Right.
out,
Right.
or they realized there was some more people coming and decided to get out or go long on that. So, so yeah, when that shit happens, that's where I'm like, I got my finger on the button, and I'm like, if it gets bought out, like you said, so quickly from 1249 to back to 1275, then I'll be like, this ain't feeling right,
Right.
and I'll just,
Right. Right.
I just get out and then just let it do its thing, and then try to catch that pop again.
Right. Right. Which, yeah, in a sense, you take a small loss, like a very small loss, and then you just get back in at the top. So essentially, you're going to make more money in the long run doing that, if you're right, because there
Yeah.
are times
But
where it's going to basically double top, and it's not going to
yeah.
happen that way. Yeah.
But also, if I get in 1275, and then 2 seconds, literally 2 seconds after I get in at 275, it's at 1249. I mean 1275, and then 2 seconds later it's at 1249. I'm fucking taking it
Yep. And
because
I was
that's it. That's what we're looking is for quickness, and
right.
it's 1 and 2. You fucking take it, and I've shown you charts that I'm in and out on the same candle. You don't know what happened first, if my green arrow or the red arrow.
Yeah, it's like,
'cause
did you go short or did you go long?
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm
Right,
like, I'm in, and if it gives it to me, it bend over and show me the panties. I took it. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's something that I've learned recently too as well is, if I get in and we get that quick flush under the $50, in this case on VIPS, I used to take half my position and I would try to get the other half to work for me, and I found out so many times that I end up cutting that other half at high of day, and it was almost like a wasted half of my position. And I've really started to realize that, time in the trade versus how much you make, sometimes it's just not worth waiting for that extra half to kind of work itself out, because sometimes it could take 5 minutes, sometimes it could take an hour. Like, you don't know how long it's going to take to really kind of figure out what it wants to do.
There. Yep.
Yep.
I remember there was a guy. I don't remember if it was in our chat or where, but I remember just people would be like, or this guy was like, he would get in at a perfect point, and then the thing would be, oh yeah, I think it was a guy who used to be with us a long time ago. I don't know if you ever met him. But the thing used to pull back, and you're like, holy shit, this thing pull back, like for example on that VIPS or VIPS, it would be on that consolidation at the bottom, just when it started getting bought out again. And then I'll be like, oh man, that's an awesome trade, whatever, like you did good. And he's like, yeah, I'm still in it. I'm like, all right, like you mean like half? Like, he's like, no, like I'm waiting for this to like fucking go back to like 12 or some shit like that. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, this is not going to 12.
Right.
But he's not in the chat anymore. So.
I see. I think I see what you're. I catch what you're throwing there.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't, it's just you cannot go for fucking home runs, and you have to gauge the market. You have to know what it's doing. You have to know what a quick move, a pullback. Like if it's at 1290 from this open at what 1220, and all of a sudden it goes to almost 1290, like, and you hit it as a short, and it goes back down to 1250, bro. Fucking take something.
Yep.
It's let's say it's at 1250. You say it's now at 1250. How do you not know this is gonna be at 1350 in the next minute? Because it can happen. That's what the market does.
Yep. OCX. Don't ever get up to take your kids to the bathroom. That's the moral of OCX. But yeah, the what I was getting at too is I kind of preach this all the time too. I don't know if you're looking at my chart, but I like to go off of previous resistance a lot with my trading. And that's usually where I look for my ultimate end goal for a big pullback. But just to kind of go off what you were saying too, when you're counter trend trading, because that's essentially what we're doing. When we get these big intense moves in one direction, we're looking to basically ride it back down on a pullback because, as we always say, the stronger the move, the weaker the trend. We're
Exactly.
looking for the pullback. That's it. The odds are, if this thing made a big move up like that, it's trying to continue to go up. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, if it makes this big
Or
move up," and
something happened, news related or something that it made that move.
right, news related, earnings, whatever it is, the odds are, unless it's a buyout, even on buyouts, I've seen cases like, say this thing had a buyout at 1290, you'll sometimes still get this big pullback because you have all these people from previous
Yeah, yeah.
days, long positions, swing trades, like they're all looking to sell. So if everyone sells at the same time when it finally hits that 1290 where the buyout is, and a lot of people haven't heard that news, they're the ones selling. So you're still going to get most likely some kind of pullback. And
And not only
God,
that, when the pullback happens, you need to realize that there's a lot of people that's gonna cover.
exactly. Yep.
You have, let's say you have 200 shares on that bitch. There's people that have 2,000 shares. And when they cover, watch is gonna jump again, bro.
Yep.
So you want to take your money now. You want to realize what your P&L is telling you, or you want to just be like that guy and be like, nah, it's gonna go back to 12. You know.
Right. Exactly.
Good luck, bro.
Yep. And
Sorry
just
for
back.
talking over you.
No, you're fine. Back to just the previous resistance. I say it all the time that in most cases, if you get a breakthrough a key resistance area, it's most likely before it continues going to come down and try to test that area. And it happens all the time. No matter how long it takes, it usually happens. And there's obviously going to be cases where it doesn't happen, but I would say over 50% of the time it tends to happen. So that's kind of why when I have a good average on a trade, I try to hold some of my position until that previous point. Like even here on VIPS, I'm even just using the pre-market high here of 1230. I mean, we tried to get down there. We got to 1236. That's pretty close. But a lot of times you'll see a stock come right down to that area and retest it before it moves higher. And I mean, that's essentially what it did here. And then eventually
Where you're looking at that resistance, the big whales are looking at that. Everybody else is looking at that, trying like, okay, I'm gonna cover around that area.
Exactly. And that's usually why I try to front run it a little bit. I never try to put it like right there, and that's what happened. I mean, look at this candle here. This candle was at 1249, or we'll say the bottom of this candle at 1243. It dipped all the way down to 1236, and it got bought all the way back up to where it closed at 1244. So everyone kind of had the same idea. We're all looking for this previous resistance to be used as support, and they all started covering their positions here. And then look what happened. You get this little ascending triangle, whatever you want to call it, and then we moved back up. Ended up going high of day. So it's
Indicators. Do you use indicators?
Oh yeah, I use all the indicators. Who doesn't? I got all the EMAs.
How well do they work? Was that
Well,
the question
they
you
all.
were going to ask me?
It's kind of we can get into that, but I always relate indicators. I've never actually said this, but in my head I always do this. And you know how some people say even a broken clock works twice a day? Well, it's kind of like EMAs. Every one of them is going to work at some point, right? So if you're going out of your way to find trades that always bounce off the 100 EMA or whatever, or the 50, the 20, you're looking for the 9 to cross the 20, whatever it is, you're going to find charts where it works. So you're going to be like, oh, look, it works. Yeah, exactly. So, but the thing is, it's not a high probability to work every single time. And that's where people fall into that trap. And that's a lot of these places will try to sell you the idea that they have these magic holy grail indicators, and it's not how it works. Price action is key. It's really when you really break it down, price action is key. The stronger the trend, or the stronger the move, the weaker the trend. It's that simple. It really is that simple.
I think the best support resistance lines are marked by big volume on those candles. So you can have a spot where stock turned around with very low volume. That doesn't mean that that's a point of support or resistance. But when you get a point that a bunch of volume came in and the stock really bounced on there, like that VIPS that we're looking at that high of 1280s, was the 1289? What did it get to? That first
The
candle?
move up, 1287 was the high I got to.
87 with that volume of almost a million shares on that first candle. I think it's pretty safe to say that from 1280 to 13, that's a good point of support resistance.
Right, right. I agree. There was a question. Let me go back to it real quick.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, and I think indicators only work if the traders that are trading it are actually looking at it. And by that, I mean traders with big money, not retail traders. So if
very
there's
true.
a hedge fund or whatever that they're working on it, then yeah, it will work. But it's because someone is making it work.
Right, like the big traders, the hedge funds, the people that are buying like the financial institutions, the institutional buyers. A
Hmm.
lot of those guys will use VWAP. They will, like, if somebody wants into a stock, like say a big whale says, I want $200,000 worth of VIPS. Well, they
Hmm.
will just wait until the stock is at the VWAP for the day. And that's
Hmm.
where they'll buy their $200,000
Yep.
because that's the average volume weighted price. Like they feel that that's where they're getting the best price, bang for their
Best
buck,
value.
basically. Yep.
Yep.
But the question that I'd found was David had asked Vic, how do you gauge your position size? I don't know if you wanted to.
Ooh. That's been with experience, a lot of trial and error. Um, I think you have to develop the eye of looking at a chart and knowing if it's running too much, if it's a big chart, or if it's just a chart that you can manage pretty well. Um, I don't know if that makes any sense, but you kind of develop an eye that you're seeing something and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is manageable. I can hit it. I can hit it with more. And then sometimes you see something that is like, this can fucking blow my account. Let me go in with 10 shares. um,
Right.
so
HUNT.
yes, yes, that bitch. But that was a controlled trade that I already knew how to win on that when I traded that. I did not know how to lose yet, but I knew how to win. And to my surprise, it was a winner. So I did everything I wanted to do, which was one entry, second entry, third entry, and I did it as 1-1-2, and it worked beautifully for me. Um, that one. So as far as what to gauge it or how do I gauge my shares, I kind of see how the chart is running, and like I said in the beginning, I like to see them run. I just don't want to see I just don't want to open a chart and see like, oh, this has gone from 12 to $13. I want to see it run up there. When I see it run up there, I know how fast it's going. I know that's my edge. I know what my opportunity in there is because I don't know how long it took for that candle to go up. If it went
Right.
up really slow, then that's not my edge. So I like to see it running. When I see it running like that, then I know how much money it can take from me. If it goes from 12 to 13 in a matter of seconds, I'm like, okay, this can go from 13 to 14 in the same amount. So let me respect it a little more. But if
Right.
it's only like a 20 or 30 cent run, then I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit more risky. I also have guidelines that I know, how to get in for certain amounts of money in order for me to like lose a specific percentage, and I do stop out per rules, depending on what the chart is doing. If it pull back, and it just pulled back a little bit, and it started consolidation. And I was expecting a big pullback, like if it ran up a lot and quick, I get in, and then all of a sudden it's just like a little tiny pullback. Then I'm like, ah, that's not what I wanted, you little bitch. I just fall. Like I want you to die on that pullback so I can get out. And then it just starts like consolidating. It's not doing what I got in for. That's not what I wanted. So then I'm looking to start to get out, reducing, or whatever.
So when a stock does that, you're basically telling it to get up on your roof.
Yeah.
So, because you want it to fall and die.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to kind of try to throw that in
You
there.
have to throw it in there. People probably
How,
don't know what
yeah,
we're
they
talking
don't.
about.
Did you you remodeled your bathroom recently too, didn't you?
No, I didn't. That's not my tiles.
I was actually pretty mad at myself when I figured out that what actually happened in that picture.
I still want to believe what we believe.
Yeah, I do too. So one of the other questions I had is another important one, I think, for a lot of traders, especially new ones getting into it, is how do family and friends react when you tell them that you're a trader? Do you even tell them that you're a trader? And if you do, like, how do they react? Obviously, I would know that your wife most likely knows at this point.
She knows because she works behind me, and she sees all the inappropriate pictures that you motherfuckers post on the chat. So I have to get the pictures out of the way.
What are you talking about? They're just charts of candlesticks.
But no, she knows I trade. She does not know how much I've invested in it yet. Um, it's not that I'm keeping it away from her. It's just that the money I'm using is money that I made on crypto, and that I heard this interview with can I say the name? You want me to say the
Yeah,
name
yeah, that's fine.
of a trader? That's Nathan Meshot on Chat with Traders, and he's talking about his beginnings. He lost 100,000 one day, and
Oof.
he didn't tell anything to his girlfriend that is now his wife. Um, because he's still in the process of building up. So I see it as this is my education. I'm paying you pay for college, and nowadays you pay out of your ass to go to college, so it's the same thing. That's
So
I
true.
see it that way. I'm investing in my family, and in the future um, this will pay off.
Understood.
And in the future I can tell her, if she tells me, or if I decide to be like, hey, I'm quitting my job to do this full time, then she'll be like, because I know how my wife is. She's like, oh my God, like, there's no security in that. Then I can sit her down and be like, this is how much I've lost, and this is how I've managed it, and this is where I'm at today. And that's actually what Nathan did to his wife. He said that they were going to buy a house or something, and she was uh, scared or had doubts about how could they afford that, if it was something that he could lose in one day or not. So he sat down and said, you remember that day that you came to college, and we were going to leave, and you asked me how my day was, and my day was awesome. I had lost 100,000 that day. So she could see that he had a track record of managing being on the downside and then being on the upside again and stuff like that.
Yep, that's how trading is.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, but it does answer the question, and I remember when I first started, I bit the bullet, and I was I'm trying to think of the words. Towards the end of these streams, I tend to lose my words a little bit. I'm trying to, I fell into the pipe dream, I guess is what we'll call it, that, day trading can be pretty easy. And when I first got into it myself, and a lot of you have heard this story already, I started paper trading for about 2 weeks, and I was absolutely killing it, because who doesn't kill it when they're paper trading?
Yep.
There's no emotion behind anything. You can, add to positions. You forget about the positions that you lost on because you didn't have to account for it. And so in those first 2 weeks, I was killing it. I was like, you know what? Let's load up an account and go for it. And so I did just that. And my first day, I lost over $1,100 of a $5,000 account. So 20% of my account just absolutely gone. And think of my wife, my first day where I'm telling her, oh, I can make $1,000 a day doing this. And the first day I'm like, I lost $1,100. Like, imagine how that conversation went.
Yeah.
But it's, again.
And when it comes to friends and family and stuff like that, I don't, I said like, yeah, I'm trying to be a day trader, and what I say is like, I'm studying to be a day trader and I have an account or whatever. If they ask me like, oh, like, how you doing? My default response to that is I'm losing. I don't care if I'm having a great month. I'm like, no, I'm losing. I'm not there yet. And it will continue to be like that until I have the 6 month record that consistently green, which is my next goal, is to be 6 months full green. Once that happens, then my response will probably change from I'm losing to like I'm doing all right, or like I'm getting better, and I just want to leave it at that. I don't want to say on the other side until I'm actually on the other side. So they will continue to receive the same response.
Yeah, anytime I run into somebody new that asks me, like somebody that comes into my house and they see my 4-screen setup and they're like, whoa, that's fancy. And like sometimes they'll see the charts up on the screen. They're like, oh, you're in the stock market. I was like, yeah, I dabble in the stock market. Like that's kind of what I say. I'm a stay-at-home dad first, and this is just a hobby at this point. Like that's kind of how I sell it. But we all know that.
I'm like, no, I'm studying for it and I'm losing my ass.
Yep.
And whoever comes to me to ask me if they like, hey, I'm interested in doing it, I sit them down and I try with everything in my power to tell them not to get into it.
Yep.
I give them all this is trash. There's people with money that are knowing when you're getting in, when you're getting out. They're trying to get you out of the way. They will steal your money. It's dirty. You'll be in the mud with pigs, and you will lose. You will lose for a year. You will lose on year 2. You will lose on year 3, and then maybe by year 4 you will stop losing, and then maybe by year 5 you will start making some money. And if I give them that spiel, and then after all that they're like, you know what, I'm still interested, then I'll be like, all right, then this is how fucking amazing it can be, and then I tell them everything that we know it can be. Then I go down that path. Yep. But I do one first.
That's true. I mean, anybody that, like, if somebody asks you, like, if you're a new trader and you've dabbled, you maybe even won some money when you first started, if your first response when somebody asks you, like, what you're doing, you're like, oh, I'm a day trader and I'm making tons of money, well, shame on you. Because, and I'm actually going to pull up, I think I have it readily available here. Crap, I don't. Or do I? Yep, I do. Okay. So this is something, it's called the Dunning-Kruger effect.
I know that.
Oh, Jesus, God, that was really loud. I don't know what you did there. But basically, everyone, when they first start, they have 100% confidence. They watch the YouTube videos. They've, paid for courses. They've watched the gurus do it. They've watched the professionals do it. Whatever it may be, when you first start trading, I was one of them. You have 100% confidence before you even know what you're doing, right? And then this is what happens. You start to make trades and you start to realize that you don't have a fucking clue what you're doing. And it's just, it keeps going down and keeps going down. And the more and more experience you get, you finally kind of hit that point, MTSI, where you start to realize that, okay, I really didn't have a damn clue what I was doing. So it's time to step back, realize that I had no clue what I was doing, and figure out how to win, to figure out how to become a better trader. And then your curve starts to do this. And I couldn't agree with this chart more with a lot of things in life. It's everything. A lot of people, when someone asks, do you play soccer? Oh yeah, I play soccer. I'm great at soccer. And then you start to play with people that really know how to play soccer, and you realize that you fucking suck. So, and if you want to get better at it, how do you get better at it? You don't like download an app on your phone and how to play soccer. No, you go out and you play soccer.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Or like
that's
the
how.
people at the bar when they're watching the UFC fights. They're like, oh, you should just get up. You
Right?
should
Yeah,
just get
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Oh, those people crack me up, bro.
Yep. But
Yeah, let me put you on the ground. You get up,
yeah,
you fat
exactly.
bastard.
So we'll wrap things up. I noticed a lot of people are starting to kind of chime out of here. I do have one more good question for you,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's if you could give any new trader that's either watching or maybe comes across this interview in the future a piece of advice when they're first starting out, what would it be?
I think it would definitely be what I said at the beginning, to set an amount that you want to lose for that year. Um, so that they know that they will lose it that year. I will tell them straight out, how much do you want to lose this year? If they'll be like, oh, I want to be a trader, I'll be like, okay, when you start, okay, how much you want to lose this year? It's not gonna be how much you want to make, or like, oh, it could go either way. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna fucking lose it this year. How much do you want to lose it? You want to lose 1,000? You want to lose 2,000? You lose 3,000? And then stick to that. Once that's reached, you learned your lesson for the year. That was year one. Congratulations. Put it in the book. Close it, and then paper trade for the rest of the year. That's it. Year two, do the same thing. How much do you want to lose this year? Because it can snowball from there. And if you're somebody that has, let's say, a big savings account, or made a lot of money on Bitcoin, or fucking baby, what is it called? When your parents leave you money or some shit, a trust fund
Trust fund. Yep.
or some shit like that, that shit will disappear in a fucking blink of an eye on your first year. So set up an amount, and then after that, you have to stop and paper trade. If you cannot do that, you will not follow any of your subsequent rules that you will create for your trading. So follow this first rule of how much you want to lose for that year. Then after that, you will learn how to navigate in the stock market. You will learn that year two will mean that you want to keep your account alive. Year three will be like, okay, how, now that it's still alive, how do I at least keep it at break even? And then year four from there will be like, okay, how do I go from break even to make money, and so on and so forth.
Some solid advice, man. Wish somebody would have gave me that advice when I first started. Which is actually why I kind of started the channel in the first place. I mean, it's not the full reason,
Yeah.
but it was hard to find people out there that told you this stuff, and that's what we're after. We're here to find people like V and myself that are just going to tell you the blunt, honest truth, because that's what you need to hear. If you want to survive and actually be a real trader, this is the stuff you need to hear, not throw your money, all you need is $500, go Uber and get that $500 and we'll turn it into $1 million. Like, it's not, it doesn't happen that way. Not unless you don't need that $500 and you can risk it all every single trade. Because trust me, that's what they're doing. And they can just pop $500 more in there at any given time. Trust me. But
Yep, absolutely.
I guess I'll leave a little open Q&A here for like the next. We'll go say 6 minutes or so. We'll go to 11:20.
Again, I want to say I'm sorry I haven't looked at any other questions or anything, because I can't do two things at once.
I've been kind of keeping up with them, so you're good.
All right, I'm just squirrel.
Squirrel. I say that to my wife all the time. That's how my kids are right now. They like see something, they'll be completely doing one thing, and then all of a sudden it's like, squirrel. What? I'm sure your daughter's the same way.
If you ask any questions and I did not answer you, and Tim didn't pass them on, then you can answer now.
Yeah,
And you
feel
can
free.
get me on Twitter. I hope Tim gave it or put it somewhere. That's my Twitter account. I have not been tweeting too much, but I still got it, and I open it and I talk to Tim from time to time, which is my bad time of the day.
So he yells. He doesn't really talk.
So you can ask me questions you can get me on Twitter.
So yeah, David asked, where did you learn to do such good tile work?
Mother. Can I, how do I
Uh,
block someone on YouTube?
I don't. I don't know. Yeah, Vic's Twitter handle is at Vic_trades with a Z. It's in the title. I don't think I put it in the description, but yeah, it's right there in the title. Real quick, just congratulations again to Freedom Trader for the 2-week giveaway. Hopefully we'll see you in the room on Monday. Tom, thanks again for the big dono. As we saw, we ordered the Stream Deck, so that will definitely help us out. We'll be using it Monday morning as long as we get it tomorrow. I'll probably spend like all tomorrow night and Sunday night trying to figure out how to use it. Thanks, V. Appreciate it, Vic, for coming in and doing the interview. It was great. I think a lot of people learned a lot from it. We had some good engagement going on. This is, I'm not going to lie, the best Friday night stream we've had in a while, so props to you for being part of it.
Right on. Because I'm the shit, bro.
That's right. Apparently people like us talking together, so maybe we'll have to make it happen again.
And perseverance, that's the key, guys.
Yep.
Fucking perseverance.
Perseverance and experience.
It's a hard game.
David asked, any book recommendations besides the one you've already gave me? I guess you could mention the ones you've already given them for anybody else that's listening.
Yeah. So I gave them. Let me go to my book thing right here. So I don't think I've given you the Mike Bellafiore one that I. So Trading in the Zone, of course, by Mark Douglas, and then The Daily Trading Coach by Brett Steenbarger are my main books. And then Mike Bellafiore, One Good Trade. It's awesome as well. It's not more of like how to trade or anything like that. You're gonna hear a lot of anecdotes from him and his journey as a not only a trader but as a boss of a prop firm. So he's gonna talk about other traders under him. And it's a pretty good book. And I think that's it. The ones that I would recommend. Reminiscences of a stock operator, but that's like a classic. Have you read that one, Tim?
I actually have not. The only one I've actually read is Trading in the Zone. I'm not much of a book reader, and I actually didn't even read that. I actually listened to it. So.
Well, yeah. Listen, I don't. Yeah, I'm talking about Audible. I do it in my car, but the Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. You know that one, right?
Yeah, I have heard of it. Yeah, I haven't actually got to it yet.
That guy, I forgot his name.
Let's find out.
His name again.
It is.
It's supposed to be the life of the real trader in the 1900s.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
And it stands the test of time in the world of trading.
Let's say it's Roger Lowenstein. Is that the guy?
Yeah,
That. I think it's it says Lowenstein or Lowenstein. One of the different. Say Edward Lefebvre is the one that I guess wrote the book or reiterated the book.
Yeah, redid it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just stay with it. Perseverance. You're gonna get knocked the fuck down. It's how you get up. It's how you work through it.
I get knocked down, but
Jesse
I get up
Livermore.
again.
There we go, David. Jesse motherfucking Livermore. That's the guy.
That's not what it says on the damn book.
Yeah, but I think he uses a pseudonym in the book.
Gotcha. Yeah, Jesse Livermore sounds much more understandable. Yeah, I remember hearing that name. There is another book. It's called Reminiscence.
Right. You should hire David as the technical guy that looks shit up for us. So when we start the podcast, both of us are talking, and he's the Google guy.
He can be the Google guy, and he can moderate the chat.
He can be the Google guy and put things in the monitor.
I did Google it, but the
but
one
you sucked at it.
Apparently,
David obviously got it.
Apparently, guys are jerks. So we'll get and end it here. You guys have any closing words? I feel like I already got my closing words in.
Yeah, perseverance. It's my last one.
Yeah, we already fucking heard that. We got any other ones?
Perseverance.
Oh, another perseverance.
I'm close. I'm
perseverance,
not
guys.
any more questions.
I'm closed. Are you sure? Because
No
that's not what you always tell me.
No more press. No more
No
pictures.
more press. No comment.
Nope.
All right, guys. Well, that was our interview here with Vic. Again, you can find him at Vic Trades, Vic_Trades with a Z on the end on Twitter. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those when this thing finally processes, and we can always get back and try to answer them then if you feel like we missed anything. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Appreciate all the support that we always get. Vic, thanks again for stopping by, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Maybe this can happen again. Maybe we'll look into possibly starting a podcast. Who the hell knows? I'm going to put that on you because I'm not going out of my way to do it.
I got to be, once I reach my fame is more than yours and your people and your channel ask for me, then I'm in.
I feel like they just did that tonight. So, but all right, everybody. Hope you had a great time. Yep. And have a great weekend. And we'll see you Monday morning for the live stream. And that's all I got for you.
Bye.
See ya.